Some of you are familiar with World of Warcraft. Some of you play World of Warcraft, or you have played. You're familiar with the world, or you know video games and how they can be, bigger than life, and they become addictions, and they become like second worlds and lives for people, okay? When I was I'm going to say my first year or two in the game, it was probably first year, I was so addicted, okay? And my whole life was this game. One of the things about playing these online role-playing games is that, like, you kind of create an identity. Like, people start to know you. You get a reputation. So this began to happen. I had a couple events that took place, and I kind of made a name for myself. There's a mechanic that works in the game where the better your armor and weapons are, the more powerful you are. Makes sense. Essentially, you have these tiers of, like, if your armor and stuff is okay, it's blue. If it's amazing, it's purple. And it's called epic. Some of the guilds, these little teams of people, communities of people, sometimes a couple hundred people, would be so exclusive that you would have to have every piece of armor and weapons as purples, epics. You had to be some of the most powerful players in the game to be invited into these guilds, okay? That's the context I need you to understand. So I start playing this game, and I make a name for myself, playing for about a year. And then one day, the game lets you change the gender of your character. Now, no surprise, I'm this big, burly, white-haired Viking of a man, okay? And then when they let us do this, I was like, if I'm gonna keep doing this, I'm just gonna change it up a little bit. So I made my character a woman. Let's just shake it up. Let's just Yahtzee through this, okay? And it wasn't but maybe 2 days. I start getting messages from people, like DMs. What up, girl? What? What's up, girl? Oh, man. Yeah. So I kind of instantly regret doing this, because now I'm like the target, right? I'm literally just walking around Stormwind, and I'm getting these private messages from people that think that I'm an actual woman, okay? And I ignore them. I'm not like, hi, no. But then one day I get a message. The guy is literally standing next to me, and I can see his guild name under his player name. So he messages me. He's like, what's up? And he waves. Okay, so that's how I know it's him. And I'm like, oh, and I look, and he's in one of these big fancy guilds that only lets you in if you have, like, thousands of hours and all the best gear, which I was a bit of a turd. I didn't have any of that stuff, but I wanted to be in that guild, because if you just have that name, you're a big deal. So I was like, oh, should I respond? Hi. He's like, where are you from? I'm like, all right, here we go. Here we go. I guess I'm in it. So I just kind of like threw a shoulder out, and he can't see me, you floozy. They can't see me, obviously, but I'm like, all right, let's just give it a go. So I was like, what's up? So we start talking. And he legit, in the first conversation, asks me for pics. Now, I've already told him that I'm 19. I think I said I'm in New England, which was not true. And I gave him my first name, okay? All of these things were one of my cousins that I was thinking of, right? I'm like, okay, that works. I just need a reference point because this lie is going to carry on. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I'm like, okay, I'm 19, I'm in New England, and my name's Kelsey. Okay. And I'm trying to like play the role. No offense to you 19-year-olds named Kelsey. So the conversation goes, he asks me for pics within the first conversation. And this is where I'm like, oh, this lie is going to be really flimsy. This house of cards is going to blow down real quick. So I go, okay, how do I do this? I said, tell you what, you get me in the guild, which was called the Dark Squirrels, okay? Doesn't sound badass, but it was badass. I want to be in the Dark Squirrels. You get me in, I get you some pics. I feel really ashamed now that I'm telling this story. But it's water under the bridge now. So, so a couple days go by. I get back on the game. He messages me again and he goes, you get my pics? I go, well, I'm not in the guild, am I? He's like, ooh, you drive a hard bargain. I like that, girl. So you get me in that guild, I'll get you some pictures. Like a week goes by. Next thing you know, I get on the game, and this massive gong resounds on my screen. And it says, you have been invited to join the Dark Squirrels. Now, this bittersweet moment is quickly shattered by the idea that now I have to give him pictures. I have to beat Kelsey and I got to get him pictures. Okay. He pulled up his end of the bargain. He's getting pictures. So the first thing I do, because technically he wasn't like, hey, let me get some dirty pictures. Blah, 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 blah. No, he just said, let me get some pics. So I messaged my cousin and I said, hey, I'm working on a project on the DL. That's down low. Can I borrow a couple of your Facebook photos? Not Facebook, MySpace. Yeah. And she was like, I don't care. Nice. So I grabbed a couple of her pictures and I sent him, was it email? It must have been. Yeah. So I sent him these pictures. He comes back immediately in the game and he was like, you're so pretty. He's like, well, you got any more pictures? I was like, maybe. I'm like, what can I get out of this guy? This is going to be good. Now, at the time, if you spent 1,000 gold coins in the game, you could get a horse that you ride on that's wicked fast. But it takes a lot of time and effort to get 1,000 gold coins. I don't have time for that. I mean, I do. I just don't have that much focus. So I told them, I said, hey, I'll get you some pictures. I know what you're after. I'll get you some pictures. You give me 1,000 gold. Now I'm extra ashamed. I am prostituting myself on this video game to this poor guy, like he's the victim. So, oh, goodness gracious. So he says, 1,000 gold, huh? All right, see what I can do. Give me a couple days. And I guess he went out and he farmed all kinds of rocks and herbs and all kinds. He hit the auction house. He was just hustling, throwing gold, slinging it. Next thing I know, runs up to me in the game, opens up trade, 1,000 gold, trade. I now have 1,000 gold in my bag. And I'm like, I'm stuck. Now I can't play dumb and just be like, what? You just said you wanted pictures. I even said, I know what you want. Give me this is not looking good for me. I feel like a terrible person. I was 22. Don't judge me. Okay. So anyway, I have the 1,000 gold. I said, I got to run for now. I got to go to work. Complete lie. Give me a couple days, I'll get you some pictures. I log off. Now, this is the point where I'm kind of stuck because one, and I never thought I would say this out loud, I don't have any dirty photos of my cousin, okay? Two, I'm not going to ask for any. Three, so I do what any grown, self-respecting man does, and I ask my wife for help. I say, hey, look, I'm in a little bit of a bind. We're sitting at the table, like the light is on me, and she was like, what? She thinks I'm going to tell like I'm cheating on her, I'm gambling our life savings, and I'm like, I need some help. I'm in deep. 1,000 gold deep. She was like, what? World of Warcraft. Here's what happened. Let me explain what happened. And I real sheepishly told her the story. And of course, she's laughing her ass off. Dying. She's like, you got yourself into this mess? And then she goes, I have an idea. She goes, you should do a video. And I was like, I'm not going to ask Kelsey for a video. No. She was like, no, you should do a video. A great reveal. Have it start off sexy, but then finally reveal that you're not Kelsey. And he got you into the epic guild. He gave you 1,000 gold. So what do? We go to the store and we buy like the chocolate coins, that have like gold wrappings on. They look like gold coins. We got a bunch of those. We got a bunch of bubble bath. We got candles, and we took my camera. I'm not even kidding. We started off, it was like a bubble bath. We got candles, and she's holding the camera, and I'm in the tub, okay? I'm in the tub, and it's like the slow pan. We got saxophone music, and it's across the bubbles, and you can see the candle. It's so cinematic for a hand cam and MySpace era. And she's just gliding across, yeah. And then you see this bubbly foot come out, and you can't tell it's my hawk of a foot. You just see bubbles, and it's real dark too, right? So boom, the foot comes out, and then the leg comes out, and then you realize that it's this woolly mammoth hoof coming out, and then it's just hair, right? And the camera comes up, and I'm like, yeah. It's just me, right? So then it's literally, and this is my World of Warcraft days, so I was at my absolute biggest, the heaviest I've ever been, and I said, you know what? I'm going to lean into this. So like some of the shots were like me covered in soap and my big hairy belly, and I've got like soap in my beard, and it's slow motion, and then I took the gold coins and I just dropped them over myself like rain, slow motion, and I said, thanks for the gold, sweetheart, and at the end, boom. I feel like you can envision this, right? You can see this video. So I take the video, I put it together, I get it. I mean, it's fantastic. And I'm literally getting ready to send it. And then I kind of stop for a sec because I can feel the butterflies. I know what's going to happen when I send this video. I'm going to get kicked out of the guild. I'm going to be the one that seems like a pervert somehow. Like, hey, bro, you wanted some dirty stuff? Roscoe delivers. Here's your dirty stuff. Oh, not what you were expecting? Oh, it would have been fantastic. He can't take my 1,000 gold back, but I'm going to get kicked out of that guild. And I thought, is that worth it? Is that worth it to really make this guy just shudder inside, just die inside? I said, yeah, it's worth it. But then I thought, this is going to live on the internet. Like once I send this, he's not just going to be like, ew, deleted. No. He's going to launch this thing. He's going to put it on MySpace, send it to all his buddies. This can't be good. So I never sent it. Do I still have it? What do you mean don't? I just spent like 30 minutes telling you a story. Of course I do. All right. All right. Now, you would think with that ending that, that it's not a true story. That is a 100% true story, of course. And of course, these random gold coins in the music video was made me think of that. And I just had this flashback of dropping these gold coins on myself in slow motion and just covered in soap suds like a real man. Oh, man. I hope you enjoyed that.